And we are live.
Hello, YouTube.
Hello,
Hello.
YouTube. All right,
Hi.
ladies and gentlemen. It's Saturday night, and we are not eight balling. Charlie's not here.
There's only four of us, so four balling.
Well, or, 2 times 4 is 8. 4 times 4 is 16,
16 balling.
perhaps.
Okay.
Maybe we're not balling at all, out of respect for Charlie.
And Kendall.
We're free balling. How's that?
Kendall who?
Or we're spitballing.
Spitball.
I like spitballing.
Okay. Little spitball.
So we got Brian, who you've met. Brian's my best friend. We got his two
Hi, Brian.
kids, Brian and Kendall.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about, we're not sure what yet.
Yeah.
But I think we would open with Kendall. You told me something when we were outside talking before dinner that you had an opinion on.
I had opinion on the wall.
Stay close to that microphone.
The wall.
Oh. Trump building a wall.
Oh, that's right.
All
We
right.
talked about Trump's wall.
That's a great topic. I watched, who's the guy from Breitbart?
I don't know.
Me neither.
He owns Breitbart. Oh, he was Trump's, chief of staff or...
Mr. Breitbart.
No.
I try to stay out of these things.
Anyway, he was interviewed. If it wasn't live, it was in the last 24 hours. And he was sitting by a somewhat newly constructed section of the wall. And I don't know if you know this, Kendall, but the Supreme Court in the last 2 days just said it was constitutional for President Trump to free up $2.5 billion of money that was going to be spent on defense, so like the military, to build a 100-mile portion of the wall. I don't know. They didn't get into the length. But they said it was constitutional for him to use that money.
How many miles are there?
There is from the Mexico border is just under 2,000 miles long,
Okay.
if I remember right. I think it's like 1,960 miles. And I don't remember how much the Rio Grande covers. And
But there's still going to be a wall where the Rio Grande is.
well, the thinking is where the Rio Grande is, you have a natural barrier. So that's easier to, you have a natural barrier, so that isn't where they put the wall. And there are some areas that are like very, very difficult to navigate from a terrain standpoint, like mountainous and that kind of thing. So where you could just easily walk across, where it's plains or desert or,
Okay.
that's, those are the places, again, where you could easily get across that would be the most logical places to put a, quote unquote wall.
Because I watch a lot of those border war shows and Texas DNR shows and stuff like that where they're actually patrolling the river, and it looks like somebody could easily swim across, if not a small raft.
Yeah, and there are certain parts of the Rio Grande that are super, super, super wide that flow reasonably slowly that, like, you can walk through and it's no deeper than knee deep.
Okay.
Where it's 100 feet across, it flows slowly, and it's no more than a foot or two deep. So, yeah, there are areas that you can get across. And there are treacherous areas. Some people died in the last few weeks because they decided to cross at a high-risk place because it's not patrolled.
Yeah.
And they drowned, and it was totally tragic. And the news, of course, led you to believe that it had something to do with the United States government being at fault, where it was people just took a risk and, while tragic, it ended badly for them
Right.
based on choices they made.
Okay. So Kendall's got an opinion about the wall.
Well, sorry. I think we should build a wall because, it's kind of unfair that we're paying our taxes and some people are just living the free life, just waltzing right in here, not doing anything at all, and
To contribute.
yeah, and we're paying taxes for them basically to come in, and we don't even know them.
Our tax dollars support their welfare.
Hmm.
Yep.
They didn't even live here, and it's our country.
Pull the mic a little closer to you. There you go.
Yay.
You want to sit in a natural position, have the mic maybe
And
2 inches.
pull it even closer.
This close?
As close as you can get it to your mouth.
Oh, I didn't know the distance.
If your
Wait,
chin can
was.
touch it, you're in a good spot.
Okay.
There you go.
Anyway, so I agree with that. I saw a Facebook post that said something like, if I have to submit to drug tests so I can legally work for the company that I work for, then shouldn't welfare recipients have to take drug tests too?
Well, illegal aliens, they aren't getting any kind of government
It
subsidy.
was a little bit of a switch, but welfare was kind of my topic.
Okay.
There's people that get credit cards with credit to buy groceries,
Yeah, bridge card.
bridge cards. So shouldn't those people have to submit to drug tests as well? Since me as a tax-paying citizen have to, submit to drug tests for legal employment.
So you're shifting gears here, right? Are you no longer on immigrants?
Well, we were kind of on welfare. Kendall was
Because if you
suggesting-
don't have a green card or a social security number, you can't get a bridge card.
That's true.
You could buy one illegally because half the people, or a substantial percentage of the people who get them, sell them for cash, so they can buy, presumably, whatever, not
Right.
food.
Right.
But yeah,
I think the common denominator was tax-paying citizens supporting welfare recipients. Welfare being welfare of illegal immigrants, welfare of people that don't.
well, where the system gets abused medically is if you go into an emergency room, you're not denied care. So, and this is true for American citizens who don't have health insurance either. But, excuse me, if you are an illegal immigrant or somebody without health insurance, the default way of getting treatment, any kind of medical treatment, including hospitalization, would be to just go in through the emergency room,
Right.
which ultimately everybody subsidizes. And I don't know the math behind how those bills get paid, but rest assured, it's not free, and it's not. I mean, ultimately, the government's funded by taxes by the people. So
Right.
for sure, that's the deal. One of the things that really bothers me about the whole illegal immigrant and paying taxes representation is that people who are progressive on this issue say, well, illegal immigrants pay, $250 billion in taxes every year. And for people who aren't paying attention, the presumption is, hey, at the end of the year, they're filing a tax return and they're paying taxes just like the rest of us. And no, they do not pay income tax. It's a very sneaky thing to say because the taxes that they pay are taxes they can't avoid paying, which are sales taxes. So when they go buy clothing, food, whatever, where they can't get around it, paying for, illegally gotten wages. Once again, everybody, Ricky's in my lap. He can't not be on my lap when we're on the internet. So bear with me. Yeah, it's taxes they can't avoid. So think of this. If you had a next door neighbor, so you're aware, right? Your dad was born on tax day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So every year, those of us who work, we have to file a tax return. Whether you owe taxes or not, you have to file a tax return. If you don't file a tax return, it's a felony. So every single year, illegal undocumented immigrants commit a felony on or about April 15th. Every year. So how would you feel if your next door neighbor, you said, I just got my taxes and I just drove up to the post office. I always wait till the 15th. It's my ritual. I stick it in the mailbox, on and on. What if your neighbor said, you know what? I never file taxes. I would think, even if you were progressive and you pay your taxes and you're a good American citizen and you're next door, what if your next door neighbor on each side of you said, I never pay taxes. Screw the government. I don't file taxes. I haven't filed taxes for 20 years. They'd be like, what kind of bullshit's that? I pay my freaking taxes. You're my next door neighbor. Pay your damn taxes. But when it comes to illegal immigrants, not only do they say, oh, it's okay. Who is in favor of Medicare for all illegal immigrants? Last time I saw that question asked, 10 hands went in the air. and I was completely insulted. Do you remember seeing that on the first Democratic debate?
No.
One of the questions was, raise your hand if you're in favor of paying, of providing Medicare to all illegal immigrants within the U.S. All 10 hands went in the air. I was fucking I was completely insulted. I was so, and it's funny, somebody made a meme out of it the next day, a video meme, and they said, if you want to lose the election, put your hand in the air. And then they cut to all the people putting their hand up in the air. So
some of this topic might be a little above where Kyle and Kendall are.
yeah, she pushed a button. I'm sorry, you guys, if I kind of lost you getting into the detail. So, because this is your podcast, this isn't mine. But I've got a strong opinion on some of this stuff. All right, so let's pull Kyle and Kendall back into this because this is their night.
Right.
Want to hear a joke?
Let's hear a joke.
Does it come from that website you were looking at today?
No, that was
Okay.
not a...
And let me tell you guys, I haven't informed you of this, but don't say anything or suggest anything that might get you in trouble at school. Because we're live on the internet and it could be a big problem for you.
Okay.
All right.
So, little Timmy stood up in class and said, 2 dogs were running. One ran into the other one's butt and knocked it off the cliff. The teacher said, No, Timmy. We do not say butt. We say rectum. Rectum darn near killed him, said little Timmy.
I get it. That's cute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, don't do that again. All right, we're back.
Careful where you're stepping. Lots of wires.
We had a toe malfunction. We did not go off the air, though. The computer's not plugged into that.
And the computer's got its own little battery anyway, right?
Yeah, that's true, too.
That's convenient.
Yeah. Don't
Okay.
do that again. We got a power strip near a bare foot.
So topics that would be Kendall's wheelhouse. Camping, swimming,
Yeah.
cooking. Would you care to
Sewing.
sewing?
We had a big day today.
Yeah, we did. You want to talk about your sewing class?
Not really.
No?
There's not much to talk about.
Well, what are you making? Tell everybody what you're making.
I'm making Lilo and Stitch pajama shorts. Yeah.
And you told me you picked a fabric. What was the pattern on the fabric?
A stitch pattern.
But I mean, were there like clowns or angels, or were there pictures on it, or
Rectums.
rectums
There were pictures
or
of
butts?
Stitch.
Oh, yeah.
We can say butts.
There were pictures of Stitch on it.
Okay,
Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo.
Lilo.
Not Lilo. Lilo.
got it. So did you use the sewing machine today?
Yes, I did.
Was that your first time?
No.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you've done this before.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done it at the same fabric store?
Not like the same exact one, but the same brand.
That was the same place
It
we
was?
went to, wasn't it? When you did the pillows?
Yeah, what?
It was?
And Miss Faye was the instructor, wasn't she?
It
Okay.
was.
Yeah, then. Okay, yeah.
So
Okay.
her first class, the beginner class, was make a pillow.
Yeah, it was cool.
Oh, so you have completed another project before this.
Yeah, me and my dad actually sewed a cover for my sailboat. Me and Kyle's sailboat.
Cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know
there's
that.
there's been she got a sewing machine for Christmas
Yeah.
from Nani, her grandmother, on my side,
Yeah.
and so the first thing we did was sign up for a Joanne Fabrics Make a Pillow beginner class.
Yeah.
And we've done other projects like sewing Kyle's baseball pants.
Hmm. That was like the first project.
We did a baseball team blanket with the custom logo,
Mini pillows for our cousins.
pillows for the cousins. We took an old, I shouldn't say, a brand new car cover that was really inexpensive and custom trimmed it, took all the elastic out of it and everything to make a cover for her new little one-person sailboat.
And Kyle's. And also what we made out of that material was 2 rain hats and a grill cover.
So the car cover has sewn in loops for the side mirror
Yeah.
Okay.
with reflectors on it and stuff. So we cut those out, and she made rain hats
Yeah.
out of them. So she's got rain hats with reflective material on 'em,
Yeah. Just take a walk in the middle of the road at 10 o'clock at night when it's
and
raining.
you'll be protected.
Yep.
That's funny. So does the car not have these mirrors?
It was a sailboat,
Ah,
so
Yeah.
it had no purpose
Got it.
for side view mirrors.
I mean, unless you're going sailing and you're like, I'm going to have a really good time,
So
so I
I-
need some side mirrors.
Yeah, I did a lot of research to see what kind of material you need to make a boat cover. And it came down to the same material they make for car covers, except for you could make a pre-made car cover that was this,
Same.
overall length of her boat, but we just trimmed off the parts that we didn't need,
got it.
sewed the elastic back into place, made some straps that would hold it underneath so it was windproof. So that was probably the biggest sewing project. Went through a couple spools of thread on it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
Probably saved a lot of money.
Today was day 1 of her intermediate class, which is the PJ pants,
Or shorts.
shorts, pants, whatever. It's got pattern. You buy the pattern where
Uh-huh.
you lay it out and you cut it to the pattern and sew it all together. So she goes back next week to finish that project up.
Very cool.
Well, Kyle, you haven't been so talkative. Talk to us.
I'm good.
I
Well,
gotta-
we have major topics for Kyle as well, and we'll bring him in a minute.
Okay.
Are you good with sewing at this point?
Yeah.
So
Seemed pretty decent.
we've covered the wall. We've
The wall-
covered sewing.
oh.
I have one question for you.
Yeah.
Think when you're 15, 16, 18 years old, what's something really cool you might want to make with your sewing skills when you're older and better at it?
What about that vintage dress?
Well, not when I'm older, but I have material for a vintage 1940s outfit.
That sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
What about a really cool leather jacket?
Maybe. That sounds fun to make.
You need the right sewing machine, I would imagine, for that.
We have a heavy duty one,
Yeah.
so.
We got everything you need.
All right. Well, you
But-
can make me a leather jacket.
Okay.
But Kendall's very bold in school.
Yeah.
She like intentionally wears stuff that other people don't.
Yeah.
Sounds like she needs to watch the movie Pretty in Pink.
Yeah.
I once wore Abraham Lincoln costume to school.
That was
Right.
her thing.
It's fun.
She would buy vintage clothing and tear it apart and use a sewing machine and sew it up.
Molly Ringwald.
Yeah. That'd be a great movie for her.
Yeah, it would be. Pretty in Pink. Okay, so we'll cue that one up tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, so Kyle, do you want to talk about a topic?
I don't know.
I got a question for you.
What?
How many baseball tryouts have you had in the last week?
7?
7 in the last week?
Well, less than a week, actually.
So 7 in the last 2 days?
4 days?
4 days?
We started Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
And on Tuesday I had one, and then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday I had 2.
If Mom's listening, she's gonna jump all over you for crunching ice.
Or I'm going to turn you off here. You want to turn you off where you chew on that ice?
No.
Okay.
So yeah, baseball is a big topic in Kyle's life, and mine for that matter, because I'm coach. Been one of his coaches since he was 7,
6.
6. We started at 6 with Little League. In the last 4 years, we've been doing
Travel
travel
baseball.
ball. We just signed on with a team for a 5th year travel ball this year.
Yep.
So this is your 7th year or 8th year?
Playing baseball
Yep.
or for travel?
Pull that mic a little closer to your mouth. Or move over a bit. There you go.
It will probably be my 6th.
Well,
No,
6, 7,
so
8,
7.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Whoop, 13.
Wait.
This is, you're
He-
in your
he-
8th year.
He started in
Right.
6U. He's going into 13U now.
So this is the 8th year.
6, 7.
It's a long time. Right?
Yeah.
So he's graduated to, high level travel baseball. And recently got cut from a team. Not sure I shared this with you.
You did?
Yup.
Oh.
So that's the reason we've been going to tryouts. And I mean, we did it last year too, but
Not 7.
more to see, if there were other teams we might be interested in. But this year more to make sure that we got on a good team that we wanted to be on. So, was it yesterday at lunch? I cut out of work for a long lunch, and we went out and met a couple of the coaches for another team, and basically all they needed to see was like Kyle performing for maybe 10 minutes, and
They were good.
that was it. A lot of the tryouts are, bulk tryouts where a lot of the, rec league kids show up and they got to go through, 10, 15 kids for every single drill. Private tryouts, I have always preferred those mainly because
There's 1 or 2 kids, and
Yeah.
you pretty much doesn't take that much time with the coach, and it's
Yeah.
easier in
it's
my
easier-
opinion.
Yeah, easier for them to evaluate, and it's almost like a free coaching lesson. 'Cause
Yeah, pretty much.
And do you try out generally for a specific position, or is it more of a overall skills tryout?
Some coaches they'll like just do your position, and some coaches they'll pretty much do everything, but they always ask what positions you play.
And
It's overall skills.
so what are the exercises that you do in a tryout?
Ground balls, hitting, catching, and pitching, and outfield too.
So generally, is the coach throwing you the ball, throwing the ball at you, and
Yeah.
creating different situations
Yeah,
for
pretty
you?
much.
Is it fun, or is it
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
do you get nervous, or is it just fun playing baseball, or kind of both?
You always have a little bit of nerves, I guess, and like if you're trying out for a team, especially when it's just like you by yourself. But yeah, I've gotten better at just like blocking out being so nervous about the tryout.
I guess you could be that way during an important game as well, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So you gotta find a way to settle your nerves and just do your best.
Yep.
All right. So it sounds like maybe the 7 teams are all options based on how well he's done.
Of the 7, we've had 4 offers, 2 are pending, 3 are pending. And
Okay.
we've got 2 more tomorrow, even though we've already pretty much done a handshake deal.
Do you get to meet the other kids?
Usually like the coach's son will go, but sometimes it doesn't happen. But
So whether or not, where I'm going with this is, it's funny. It sounds like almost like a job interview. in the company where I work, the guy who founded the company always said, need fit chemistry. So do we need you? Are you fit? And is there good chemistry between you and the other people in the
Yeah.
So you don't get to meet the kids.
Oh,
You just
if you do, you only get to meet like one or two.
okay.
So for me, as a multi-year baseball parent slash coach, going to these tryouts is a must, is as much of an interview of the coach to make sure that, I get a good feeling that he's more interested in training the kids than he is for winning.
Okay.
So it's kind of an interview for the coaches in my mind. I don't know if they feel that way as well, but that it's an evaluation for when I go to these tryouts. I evaluate the coaches.
Yeah, that I hadn't thought about that, but that only makes sense for
Yeah.
sure.
And it'd be good for other, baseball parents to view it that way as well. I mean, you want to see that the coach is interested in not only the kid's performance, but
Developing young men.
yeah,
Yeah. Makes perfect sense. I mean, that's what football is about, which is I was never a baseball player, but same thing.
yeah,
Same thing. Yeah, it's about developing all of the skills and discipline that come along with getting something done as part of a team.
yeah.
Well, that's cool. Well, good luck. Do you have a preference, or are you just kind of...
As far as teams,
Yeah.
the one team that I played for, tried out for yesterday, called the Griffins. I like that team. We played them last year when I was on the Sting, and they beat us 3 out of the 4 times we played them. So, I think that's the team.
Go Griffins.
Go
Yep.
either way,
Yeah,
right?
go
Griffins either
Griffins.
way.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you can think that these guys might want to
Well,
share or showcase?
Well, I know one of Kyle's other passions is Fortnite.
As is, I think, 90% of America from ages, 5 to 85?
Probably so, but maybe he's got some insight that our YouTube video viewers want to hear about.
What do you mean?
Like, how important is this game? Is it developing skills?
Not really. It's just
you want to know something interesting? So putting together this podcast, have you watched professional gamers play?
yes.
Endlessly.
So the camera, the microphones, and the software. So they need a computer to play the game, obviously,
Yeah.
right? And a screen to watch the game on. So these professional guys, generally some of them use conventional mics. A lot of them use conventional mics, but they also have their game headset mic.
mics, yeah.
But they have a setup basically similar, if not almost identical to this, for broadcasting themselves.
Yeah.
So where we have the picture-in-picture of you guys,
Yep.
they would have the picture-in-picture of themselves,
On
and the
like a
big
little
screen would be the
monitor.
game.
Mhm.
And where I'm going with this is when I researched a lot of this software, I would say 3/4 or more of what I came up with were reviews on using this for gaming. So people who game and then put themselves on the internet, and they're not they're kind of podcasting, but they're gaming and sharing their game experience, which I thought was really interesting. I mean, that's where people weren't really getting super into the audio like I did in the video. For them it was performance of the software with regard to the gaming that went through, and then the rest of it was secondary. So there's some the software I chose ultimately is to do this. But there's free software that didn't have everything I wanted that a lot of gamers use. So most of this stuff is getting sold to guys who do that. And a lot of what was out there was definitely Fortnite.
Yeah.
And a lot of what's the military one? Call of Duty, I think.
Yeah. It's gotten less popular though.
But it's like on season 10 or something now,
What?
right? Call of Duty's like they have a new season every year for the last 10 at least.
I know Fortnite's on season 10,
Right.
season X.
So I have a question about Fortnite. A lot of you guys, when you're playing each other, I hear you guys calling each other bots.
Yeah,
What's that mean?
It pretty much means like bots, like computer loaded, like generated players, but usually they're pretty much just saying you're bad at the game.
So bots are bad.
Yeah.
And are there truly bots in the game?
No.
Everybody's live.
I don't know, but I could have sworn I like ran into people who don't look very good,
Okay.
but I don't know. It's not a question for me.
So if I was to pick up the controller for the first time, I would probably look a little bit like a bot.
Probably. So would Kendall.
Oh,
and-
every time I play.
And bot's short for robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So, but
Slang-
it's a
but
Slang
slur.
for
aren't
But it's a
robots
slur.
supposed to be good? Because they're robots and like
Well,
they can be programmed to be.
I
like,
think in a lot of internet situations, they will, to make you think that there are more people interested in something, they will have pre-programmed bots that are just pretending or representing to be a person when it's really not the case. I think that's where it came from, but I just wondered if it was the same term. So they're just like, it's just a useless body out there. Is that
Yeah.
kind of what the implication is?
They just get destroyed easy.
You're just a useless body out there.
Well, not necessarily like bots always like, and so sometimes you'll call yourself a bot or like you'll just be, I don't know, because like Fortnite, I guess like some YouTubers will just say bot like for no reason, or like I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. Or like say you like you think you're
You-
bad, you can just say I'm a bot.
So it's insulting,
bot.
It's
insulting
insulting-
to others and to yourself.
It's insulting if you like make it like if you say you're so bad at the game, that'll be insulting. But if you say like I'm so bad and just like kind of laugh, it's not that insulting.
Okay.
Or like if it's your friend and you know you're like you're a bot, it's not like they're gonna take it super seriously
Right.
or anything.
When you go to play Fortnite, how do you know who you're playing with necessarily, or do you?
Like for my friends,
Or do you generally get your friends together and you go start a group?
yeah, usually I'll probably like text my friend to see if he's playing, or I'll just, cause we all have like our own like IDs and like you can pretty much customize them, and I'll just like invite him, and if he's not on, I'll just wait for somebody else.
But can't you log in and also just kind of go someplace and drop into a game?
Yeah.
So
You-
what would keep you? Let's say there's a bunch of people who are say 30 years old
Yeah.
who are playing the game and the island or whatever it is isn't full. What would keep you from dropping into their game and maybe screwing it up and making them mad?
You can't really do that. It's kind of hard to explain. It's like if you were to load into a game, it's just against a bunch of random people. You don't know who they are.
Okay.
You can't really talk to them
There's
unless
50 people in each game.
100.
100.
Yeah.
So if you have a group of people who are really good, how
Yeah.
do they keep other people from playing into their game?
Like,
Can you make a game private?
well, there's this thing called arena, and like you can pretty much get to different like divisions, and the more points you get in it, the higher like you go, and the more players that you play against that are better. But in like regular matches, you can't really like go against. You could go against the best player in the world, or you could go against somebody who just started playing.
So let me ask you this. I'll equate it to, I used to play euchre online a long time ago.
Yeah.
And you had a score. And I would just play in the morning drinking coffee, so I didn't pay super close attention. So my score wasn't really high.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would sit at a table and the guy who hosted the table would just kick me off. Is that something they can do? Can they kick you out of the game?
No.
Hmm.
Unless you're in like, no, not really actually. Unless you're like just sitting in the lobby where you like just get ready for the next game or like just talk or stuff, you can kick people from that, but you can't really do that.
So a player like Ninja,
Yeah.
he's not going to just go into a general game. He's going
Oh no, he will. He just plays solos, duos, or squads.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean he's gonna win every time. He could find people that are better. He could just play bad.
Okay.
But some people believe that like it's like skill matchmaking, and they'll like place you against people who are like just as good as you. Like
So
some
you-
people think that.
You kind of have a ranking,
Well,
kind of
not
like
no
in
no no
euchre.
not really. But some people think that. But also like I've ran into people who are like 10 times better than me. Like it. Not exactly. Some people believe in it. Epic Games, the creator of Fortnite, says they don't do it, but some people think that. But usually you don't really have a score and they won't match you with.
But they'll also have like invite-only games.
Unless you like if you're playing on creative and you're just fighting against your friend or like playground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can just have a board just to yourself with
Yeah.
guys that you know.
Like with like 16 people or under.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you watch somebody who does this kind of, who's like a professional gamer and they have their site and all that, from watching them play, can you tell if they're really good?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you like, you can pretty much just see like if people are good in the like, if you're in a game, like if you see somebody coming and they're like building really good or like, I don't know, their movement just seems good. You can pretty much tell they're good. Yeah.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Huh. Yeah, I've watched a sum total of maybe 5 minutes. Maybe 10.
Because Andrea played it. Or
Yeah. Yeah, she played it. It was kind of interesting to watch for a couple of minutes. But I didn't see, she was playing not. It seems more popular later at night when I'm asleep getting ready for work. I'd see her playing in the afternoon. She'd drop into a place where there's just a couple of people
yeah.
sneaking around.
Want to hear another joke?
We're ready. Let's
Yeah.
hear it.
Okay. So this armless man wants to be a bell ringer. So he asks, hey, can I be the bell ringer? To the person who owns the bells. And so they're like, how are you going to ring the bells? So he's like, I'll just use my head. So he starts banging his head against the bell and starts playing a lovely tune. And on the last note, he fell out of the bell tower, and everyone from the town surrounded around him. They're like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? One guy steps forward and says, I don't know his name, but his face rings a bell.
That's funny.
Space rings a bell.
That's a good joke.
All right. So I know Nani subscribes to this channel.
She does.
Yeah.
Who's Nani?
My
His
mother.
mom.
Okay.
So she's probably waiting for a shout out.
Shout out to Nani.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Phoebe. I haven't
Hi.
seen you in quite some time.
Hi,
Hope you're
Mom.
well.
Hi, Nani.
I've seen you recently, so hi.
Scooch you a little closer, honey. Or bring the mic to your face, whatever.
That works.
Yeah.
So we had a couple of great spring break trips with Nani recently. Last two spring breaks. Not this spring break, but the two prior.
Yep.
What did we do?
I'll explain one, Kendall. We went to Florida, the Keys, Marathon Key, and we went fishing most of the time, and we went to this aquarium. That was cool.
I love the stingrays.
Yeah.
So cool.
What else did we do while we were there?
Snorkeling.
Oh, yeah, we went snorkeling.
Biking.
We went biking.
Yeah, we
Oh, yeah,
biked
just-
everywhere fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paddleboarding.
Yup.
Fishing.
Oh, yeah, we paddleboarded, like, right up against manatees, and we could practically touch them, but I was too scared.
You want to tell a story about the fish that we ate?
Oh, okay. So I think it was like the first or second day we were there, and we had a chart of all the fish you could keep while you were there. and we brought it in. And we were gonna have like fish tacos and like other types of tacos. We didn't just have fish, and we had these 2 blue runners, and we tasted them, and they were horrible. It was so bad. So we didn't eat the rest of it. And then we like a couple of days go by, we didn't catch any other fish that we could eat. And then we go to this aquarium, and there was all these fish charts. It was, I don't know, and then there was a chart that said chumfish, and the fish we caught was on that list. And
We tried to eat chumfish.
So you just caught it yourself and
So we
Filleted the fish.
We rented a boat. And we went out and tried to, basically go fishing for anything
Right.
we could find. Basically, we were looking
Red
for
snapper.
snapper. Or
so you caught a
grouper.
fish, didn't know what it was, filleted it, cooked it, and it was icky.
we knew
Yeah.
what it
Yeah.
was. We just didn't know it was a chumfish.
Yeah.
The chart that we had said it was, you
Good to
could
keep.
catch
Yeah.
it legally. Little did we know you should have just chopped it up and used it for bait.
Right,
Yeah.
So we pretty much
Right.
ate fish food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Florida Keys version of a carp,
Yes. Yes.
or a or a chub.
Yeah. Whatever they use for bait, and cut it and throw it overboard to try to attract
Right.
Bigger fish.
bigger fish. And we decided to make fish tacos out of it. It didn't work out so well.
Kendall, would you like to explain Gatlinburg?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot that's where we went. Okay, so we went Gatlinburg in Tennessee. I used to say Texas, but it was Tennessee. So we went there, and we rented a cabin in the Great Smoky Mountains. That was really cool. Very smoky.
It was right up on the mountain.
Are you cracking yourself up over there? So you saw a lot of smoke when you were in the Smoky Mountains?
Yeah.
Was it hard to breathe
No.
with all that smoke?
No, it's just there. Like
Okay.
this. We went zip lining with our grandma. I'm surprised
was
she
fun.
actually went. No offense, but that was so much fun. She got really scared though. So the day after we went zip lining, we went water rafting. That was so.
No. We did the whitewater rafting before.
Oh well, we did the white rafting before.
It was in there somewhere, but
Yeah.
extreme sports and grandma's right along there with us.
Yeah, I've thought.
So you
it's-
did whitewater rafting?
Whitewater rafting, zip lining. We took a deck boat out into what's the Mexican bay out there to go fishing.
Gulf of Mexico?
Gulf of Mexico.
We're talking about Gatlinburg.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Gatlinburg's. Sorry, it was a different trip. But I keep dragging my mom along on these extreme things. But she's a good sport. She keeps doing it.
Yeah, when we were in Gatlinburg, I saw a lot of Ripley's Believe It or Not, and I didn't know they had a lot of those down there. So yeah.
And the house was really cool, even though it like had a ton of stairs because it was like right on the side of the mountain.
Yeah.
It couldn't be like that. It had to go like up.
Mhm.
It was a cool house.
Yeah, the view was amazing, and we could see one of those
Trams.
trams, and took a bunch of photos.
The
Yeah.
drive up there was like kind of scary. It's, like,
Yeah,
right
oh
on
my
the
gosh,
side.
going up the driveway was a nightmare.
Mm.
It was really steep terrain, a lot of switchbacks. And, fortunately, we had a really cool car that my dad let me borrow. It was a show Taurus.
Oh.
So it was fun for me, but passengers, I'm not so much.
No, I don't think Nani even liked it. No passenger liked it.
Yeah.
We stopped in South Carolina while we were there too.
Yeah. Went and saw Aunt
Our
Laura.
Aunt Laura, Aunt Allison.
Aunt Allison. Sorry,
I'm
Allison.
like, wait, we saw her? I wish I remembered that.
And had Easter down there.
That's right. Stop in South Carolina for Easter,
Yeah.
then to Gatlinburg.
And was Florida part of this trip? Or this
No,
Yeah,
that was
2
like
different
last
years.
year.
Okay.
The Florida was the first
I
year.
was thinking,
and
why?
the Tennessee was.
covered a lot of terrain here.
Yeah. Yeah, the big trip for this year was Cooperstown baseball. So
Yup.
Yeah, and I didn't go there, so no big trip for me.
you had a big trip up to your camp,
Yeah.
Nisakoni.
Mm-hmm.
Nisakone.
Nisakoni.
I went to Camp Nisakoni as an Indian guide.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Kendall's
Yep.
been there 2 years in a row now.
We did a summer trip and a winter trip, and one was Nisakoni, and the other was Ojais, and I don't remember which was which.
Nisakoni was closer to
Oscoda.
Oscoda.
Mm-hmm.
When I was little, I wouldn't have equated those two.
Right. It's up
But
north
One
somewhere.
was, wintertime, had a toboggan chute. I would imagine Nisakoni with the lake was probably our summer camp.
Yeah.
Bunch of cabins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Do we have anything else? We're probably
Let's
about
see.
an
We could talk
hour into
about-
this.
Yeah, maybe even 2.
We've
Yeah,
covered
right.
baseball. We've covered sewing,
We didn't cover Cooper's.
swimming. We haven't talked about swimming at all. You want to talk about that?
Sure. So, I've been doing swimming for about a year now, and I started off being a speedster, which was like just practice, no meets, and so now I moved on to Kingfish. Yeah. And so I've been doing that, and it's pretty hard.
How often do you work out?
3 days a week for an hour and a half.
Nothing but straight swimming.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it's pretty hard because one day, like, we did 600s, 5 of them in a row. It's really tough.
Mm-hmm.
So 3,000.
No.
And
so,
that-
so the one thing we haven't figured out
Yeah.
is meets.
I want to, like, wait till I'm at, like, a year in so I'm not looking like a fool.
Well, I don't think you look like a fool. I think me as a parent of signing you up for these things looks a little bit like a fool because I don't know
Yeah.
how to get you actually signed up other than to click yes on the coach's website.
Yeah, I went to meet. I wasn't there. Thanks,
Yeah.
Dad.
So
Whoops.
we show up to a meet and we go to the registration table. Kendall's name is not on the list.
Yeah.
So, fortunately, the first
Not
meet we
doing
went to, they said, go find your coach. And the coach, he just pulled out a little notepad in his pocket, wrote us down, and next thing you know, her name's on the list, and she knows where she's supposed to be racing, all this good stuff.
Kind of like the Karate Kid.
Right. The next meet we go to, same situation. Her name's not on the list. Coach is off at another meet somewhere else,
Yeah.
so she has nobody to talk to.
Hmm. And the other the assistant coach isn't also there, so that just
Yeah.
and he was supposed to be there, but I don't know what happened.
So we ended up having to walk away from this meet because
So there's no known manual override.
correct.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we talked to, I don't know, 3 or 4 people at the meet, and no one can help us get Kendall on the list,
like we could, but like it was, you had to pay, and I
which was fine. It was $7 or something
Yeah.
like that. But still,
like
there's got to be, I don't know. We got to talk to the coach and figure out what we're doing wrong here, because showing up to these things and her not being able to compete is quite frustrating, especially when you got to show up at 8:00 in the morning on a Sunday.
it was a Saturday.
Especially for you, Dad.
Right.
All right. Well, do you guys have anything else? Any other ground to cover?
No. Told
Look-
all my
look-
good jokes.
Looking forward to the next time.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, we're at about the attention threshold of any would-be audience. It's probably a good time to wrap up
Yeah.
All right.
and put your thinking caps on, and we can do it again.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Thanks for
Right.
having us.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye, Phoebe. Good seeing you.
Bye.
Bye, Mom.
Bye.